The people of China, who have always been docile and obedient even amidst severe epidemic control, felt a real scare this time, as an earthquake struck and they weren't allowed to escape from their buildings. Why aren't residents allowed to escape from their residential towers? This is the reason given by the property administrators.
Everybody, go home. Don't gather here. It's just an earthquake. What kind of scenes haven't the people of Sichuan gone through?
Residents, please hurry home. Each of you, don't stay outside your residence. Yes, even the giant pandas in Sichuan Province can run from indoors to open fields in an emergency situation like an earthquake. But humans, who are also living beings, cannot. At least 66 people have been confirmed killed in a 6.8 magnitude earthquake that jolted Liuding County in southwest Sichuan Province on September 5, 2022. Outsiders suspect the actual number of casualties may be higher. According to the China Earthquake Network Center, the quake happened at 12:52 Beijing time. The epicenter was monitored at a depth of 16 kilometers. The Chinese government activated its Level 3 emergency response for earthquakes, the third highest in China's 4-tier earthquake emergency response system. The Sichuan Earthquake Administration activated its Level 2 emergency response. According to local authorities, communication services in counties near the epicenter were cut off, with some houses being damaged. The operation of some substations and transmission lines in Yangtze Tibetan Autonomous Prefecture and the neighboring Ya'an city have also been disrupted in the wake of the earthquake. As of 4 p.m., the power supply to some 400,000 households has been affected. Strong tremors were felt in many places of Sichuan and the neighboring Chongqing Municipality. The U.S. Geological Survey, USGS, has a similar record of a strong 6.6 magnitude earthquake that struck Sichuan at 12:52 p.m. Beijing time on September 5th at a depth of 10 kilometers. The EU Earthquake Warning System, EMSC, reported the same magnitude and depth as the U.S. According to the USGS, an estimated 20,000 people felt very strong shaking, 119,000 felt strong shaking, and 1,304,000 felt light shaking. On September 4th, a Sichuan netizen photographed fish jumping around the surface of a local fish pond, wondering if it was a forewarning of an earthquake. On the same day, many birds and bats were seen in the skies of some cities in Sichuan Province. So the fact is that a 6.8 magnitude earthquake happened in Luding County. Did residents in the area receive any warnings? Some cities didn't, and some did. Just a minute before the earthquake, for example, residents of Chongqing received a notification. In 64 seconds, the earthquake transverse wave would reach Jiangbei District, Chongqing City. The epicenter is in Luding, Sichuan, with a warning magnitude of 6.9 and a strong tremor. Overall, it seems that observing abnormal behaviors of animals gives one a better chance of surviving than listening to the government's notifications. A day earlier, after a video of a large number of bats or birds in the sky in Sichuan Province circulated on the internet, Chinese experts explained it as a normal natural phenomenon. For the past 2 months, cities in the upper reaches of the Yangtze River, Sichuan Province, and Chongqing Municipality have been the hottest places in China. Because of the lack of rainfall, drought has been severe. In Chinese folklore, there is a saying that a big drought is followed by a big earthquake. A prominent Chinese geologist also proposed the theory of the drought-earthquake relationship. After comparing 229 cases in the past century, he found a pattern that the epicenter area of earthquakes of magnitude 6 or higher often has a drought 1 to 3 years before the earthquake. The larger the drought area, the larger the magnitude of the earthquake. If the earthquake is within a year, it is a small earthquake. But if it is 2 or 3 years before the earthquake, it is very likely to be a large earthquake. This theory simply means that during the formation of earthquakes, geothermal heat is generated, which directly causes the surface temperature to increase, the water content of the air to decrease, the humidity to decrease, and the clouds to be more difficult to form, so there is less rainfall. As a result, there is a big drought. The earthquake that hit Sichuan Province seems to validate the theory. The natural gas in the ground, look, it has been burning for 3 hours. It's really miserable. I called the fire department for help. A few hours have passed, and fire trucks haven't arrived yet. Chengdu, the capital of Sichuan Province, also felt the tremors due to the earthquake. The city of Chengdu, with over 20 million people, was under a massive lockdown at 6 p.m. on September 1st due to the return of an outbreak. Although authorities didn't use the term lockdown, residents were required to stay in their homes as a matter of principle and were prohibited from entering or leaving their neighborhoods. and authorities must have the entire population take nucleic acid tests for 4 consecutive days. As soon as the news got out, the public started another round of panic buying as they did before.
今天成都经历了一场难得一见的抢菜热潮。
对了，快没有抢完了，快呀，太厉害了。
2 days ago, a netizen with a handle name, Tropical Rainforest, disclosed in a group chat that Chengdu would soon lock down the city. This individual was later accused by the Public Security Bureau of spreading rumors and was detained for 15 days as a result. On September 1st and 2nd, after Chengdu's system for nucleic acid tests collapsed, epidemic prevention personnel went around with their cell phones looking for signals. Many people queued up in the rain, waiting for hours in vain due to a crashed system. In the early morning of September 3rd, the system was restored and more than half of the Chengdu population got out of bed in the middle of the night and went out to get their nucleic acid tests.
Now that the system is back up, everyone can get their nucleic acid tests.
Then people lined up for the nucleic acid test from midnight until daytime, rain or shine. If you watch our channel consistently, you will notice that the city of Chengdu has been hit by a severe heat wave, drought, and flooding in recent weeks. A power crisis caused by high temperatures forced some factories in Sichuan to shut down last month temporarily. It's safe to say that the title of the country's most tormented city has now shifted from Chongqing to Chengdu. A netizen in Chengdu described his experience this way. This is a standard script of doom and gloom. It was so hot that we had to turn on the air conditioner. The air conditioner was turned on and the power went out in Chengdu, forcing us to go to the river to cool down. A flash flood came down the river, forcing us to cool down at the indoor swimming pool. An outbreak spread at the swimming pool, forcing Chengdu to go into silent management. And then an earthquake came after everyone was locked down at home. It looks like things are set up to get ready to wipe us out. At this point, a Shanghai netizen responded, "As a Shanghainese, I am very sympathetic to you. Places that haven't got a turn, don't worry. It will happen all over China, and everyone on the 9.6 million square kilometers holds the same passport. No one should ridicule anyone." Chengdu City was originally set to be unblocked on September 5th, but the government announced that in addition to the partial unblock of the 2 areas, the lockdown would be extended for another 3 days and 3 rounds of nucleic acid testing would be conducted for the entire population. Residents were to stay at home on the principle of not leaving Chengdu unless necessary. Following the 6.8 magnitude earthquake that struck Luding County on September 5th, tremors were felt in Chengdu and Chongqing. The earthquake took the rigor of the CCP's epidemic prevention policy to a new level. No one is allowed to flee from an earthquake. As we saw at the beginning of this film, many neighborhoods in Chengdu and elsewhere still enforce the zero-COVID policy, with neighborhood and building doors locked and local administrators demanding that no one go downstairs during the epidemic. During the earthquake, the nucleic acid test policy was still in effect. Some residents said that because of the so-called epidemic prevention policy, emergency doors were nailed shut and there was no way to escape during the earthquake. Some people tried to escape to open spaces during the quake, while others listened to the government willingly. A lawyer in Chengdu wrote, "It's only natural to run away from an earthquake. I went to the first floor and stood there for 10 minutes, but no one came down." There are also people who have not only embraced the CCP's brainwashing ideology, but also wish to use it to control others. One lawyer who felt the aftershock ran to a nearby neighborhood and was assaulted. Today is September 5th, and I was assaulted by a homeowner here simply because I said, when there is an earthquake, which is more urgent, the lockdown control or the earthquake. He then accused me of affecting the mood of the residents in the area. We yelled at each other and I got assaulted later. The future for the Chinese people looks increasingly difficult, one marked by both natural and man-made disasters plus shrinking wallets. Chengdu's economy accounts for 1.7% of China's gross national product, or GDP, making it the sixth largest city in China after Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, Guangzhou, and Chongqing. So far this year, economic performance in Chengdu has been quite weak. Retail sales fell in the first 7 months of the year, government revenues shrank, and industrial output lost momentum. Chengdu's economy grew by just 3% in the first 6 months of the year, well below the 13.1% growth in the same period of 2021. The outbreak is still spreading over a large part of China as if it will never end. It is unlikely that the Communist Party's zero-COVID policy will be suspended or amended until the end of the 20th Communist Party Congress in late October. A Nomura Holdings economist wrote in a recent report that hotspots of the epidemic are shifting from a few remote areas and cities that seem to have a less economic impact to provinces that are more important to China's economy. CNN reported on September 5th that 74 cities in China have been under partial or full lockdown since August 20th, affecting 313 million people. These 74 cities include the economically developed city of Shenzhen, which has re-entered a strict lockdown. At the same time, the cities of Tianjin, Shijiazhuang, near Beijing, and Dalian in the northeast, as well as several districts in the southern manufacturing hub of Shenzhen, have all declared strict anti-epidemic controls. In Shenzhen in particular, authorities have recently added several new areas under region-wide control, including Nanshan District and Dapeng New District, where many high-tech companies are located. The controlled areas now cover almost all of Shenzhen's major urban areas, affecting more than 11 million people, or about 90% of the city's total population. On the internet, Chinese netizens have made up jokes contrasting the CCP government's propaganda with the reality of the situation. We are told no spreading rumors, no believing rumors, but secretly iron bars are being welded in our neighborhoods. We are told to take nucleic acid tests, even though the results are all negative. Roads are blocked in the early morning. You say all is under control, don't panic, but secretly, Fangcheng hospitals are being built behind the scenes. You say nothing, I say nothing, but people are being taken away by the truckload. Some people in Shenzhen have done statistics. Since 2022, each individual has taken more than 200 nucleic acid tests. It's really exhausting.
都排了快3个小时了，这都看不到了。
But all this misfortune seems to have no end, and even seems like a beginning. The future of China could be very unsettling. Recently, there have been some anomalies all over China.
What kind of cloud is this? I don't know. It's a bit scary. I've never seen such a thing.
那个的猴子从房顶上下来的，你们看还有好多。你看这电线上，哦哟天哪，黑死人了，已经成蜘蛛哦，像蜘蛛一样的爬，太可怕。
This is a city in Hunan Province. What you see in the sky and on the road aren't snowflakes, but moths. There were so many of them that they fell on the ground and accumulated into a thick layer that made tires of big trucks slip and could not drive normally. The scene was so frightening that the drivers gasped. In China's capital, Beijing, which was hit by hail, lightning, and high winds for a while in early September, the government issued 3 major warnings: yellow for hail, yellow for lightning, and blue for high winds.